So the recording is on now, and today we will be discussing the third learning outcome of computing research methods. So it says be able to carry out the research on a topic with a computer science. So obviously, you will be going through a research topic, and you will have to go through, and that would be based on certain data collection, data analysis, and reporting, and that would be a pure, a complete write-up. However, at this stage, we will be discussing, that how the data should be collected, how the data should be analyzed and reported. Yeah, and so here we will be doing some theoretical, discussions, and practically this learning outcome will help you when you would carry out, with your research topic. Yeah, and I believe that in order to pass the assignment, you will need to select a topic, and that needs to be approved, and you should carry out, that particular kind of research, and then come up with a write-up. Yeah, so probably you don't, spend like a, don't waste your time, that you would start at the end like a conventional assignment. No, but this needs to be done in advance, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So soon you should touch this assignment brief and see how it goes, and then let me know that what the topic is about and what you need to do. Okay.
Okay.
So learning outcome 2, we start with
Read.
sorry, not 2 but 3. So data collection is simply it can be either the quantitative or qualitative values of variables. So even if you are, doing any, the research in computing, then if it is a pure, the computing research, then you will be dealing with the quantitative. And if it is the applied, research, then it can be the combination of the qualitative values as well. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you created an application, let's say for any disabled person. Yeah. Then the qualitative data may be applied with respect to the number of people they used and their survey, their questionnaires or whatever, they perceive, can be something that, yeah. So data is a plural of datum, which literally means to give or something, give or something given. Data can be numbers, images, words, figures, facts, or ideas. Data in itself cannot be understood, and to get information from the data, one must interpret it into a meaningful information. So, if you want to do the research, you should have a data, and the data itself is nothing. You interpret it, and then you will have meaningful information. Yeah, there are various methods of data interpreting. So data sources are broadly classified into primary and secondary data. So when you really want to do research, you need to deal with the data, and the data needs to be interpreted, and the sources of the data either can be the primary data or the secondary data. Yeah. So in next slides we will be discussing that what is the primary data and what is the secondary data. So the importance of data and data collection is that data is one of the most important and vital aspect of any research studies. Researchers conducted in different fields of study can be different in methodology, but every research is based on the data which is analyzed and interpreted to get the information. Data is important in computer science. Numbers, images, figures in computer are all data. So when you say you want to do the research, you need data, and without data you don't have a research. Your data will become the information and the conclusion of your research. So mind it that data is important. The data collection is also important. Yeah.
Yeah.
So data collection techniques, there are two sources of data collection techniques, primary and the secondary data collection techniques. The primary data collection uses surveys, experiments, or direct observations. It means you are getting the data maybe from survey, experiment, any observation. However, the secondary data collection may be conducted by collecting information from a diverse Okay, so it's buffering.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Let us wait. So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So what do you think? Was it buffering on your side or on my side?
I don't know. Maybe the internet speeds are not okay. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. You know what I do? I'm not going to full screen, but I think you should be able to read this, this font size, is it?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Because what I noticed that when I make a full screen, then my computer gets, somehow slow. So let us go through this, mini slide. So two sources of information, sources of data collection, primary and the secondary. And primary is direct data from survey or any experiment, and obviously the second is something which has already done, yeah, any stored information that you get, and that would become the data. So when you find any existing data, that's also called the data mining. Now primary data means original data that has been collected specifically for the purpose in mind. So you want to do the research, you are not looking at any of the findings earlier, but you do the research, you find your own data. That is called the primary data. It means someone collected the data from the original source first hand. Data collected in this way is called the primary data. Primary data has not been published yet, is more reliable, authentic, and objective. So what happens if you remember that your research becomes validated when it gets published. So whenever you get a primary data, it means that a pure and recent or fresh data which is not published yet. So then it would be a kind of reliable and authentic research and objective. So primary data has not been changed or altered by human beings. Whatever you have of data, that's genuine and true data are unaltered data. Therefore, its validity is greater than the secondary data. Like, if you got, let's say, if you did like a experiment 5 times, whatever the results came to you, that would be kind of genuine experiment. However, probably if you are getting the results of an experiment done by any secondary source, yeah, then you are not 100% sure that the data they have produced was really done by them and the results they have produced were correct or manipulated? Is there any chance that the results were manipulated? Hello?
You ask that again?
Is there any possibility that if you are reading any research, then the particular researcher, manipulated the data and didn't provide the correct data?
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. So
There is a
primary data is basically the valid. However, there are chances that the secondary data can be compromised or manipulated. So people who gather primary data may be an authorized organization, investigator, enumerator, or they may be just someone with a clipboard. These people are acting as a witness to primary data and is the only considered as a reliable as the people who gathered it. So primary data is reliable, is in front of you. However, there is no guarantee that that is a secondary data until it has become a kind of theory, right? For example, if you calculated the radius of the earth by yourself, then you can say that yes, this has been calculated. Let's say, for example, 1,000 miles, or let's say 80,000 miles. Sorry, I don't remember that. What is the actual radius of the earth? Yeah, but somebody says that recently 2 years ago, particular scientist did the calculation of the radius of the earth. It was let's say 70,000. You don't know that whether it was 70,000 or not. You can only say something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So importance of primary data, that importance of primary data cannot be neglected. Research can be conducted without secondary data, but a research based on only secondary data is least reliable and may have biases because secondary data has already been manipulated by human beings. So it is always advised that you should have a primary data. Yeah. In statistical surveys, it is necessary to get information from primary sources and work on the primary data. For example, the statistical records of a female population in a country cannot be based on a newspaper, magazine, and other printed sources. One such source is old, and secondly, they contain limited information as well as they can be misleading and biased. Yeah. So, for example, the population of female in a country, you cannot rely on any source again, but your primary research, your primary data is the only way that you can get a valid record. Make sense?
Yeah.
The validity is one of the major concern in a research. Validity is the quality of a research that makes it trustworthy and scientific. Validity is the use of scientific methods in research to make it logical and acceptable. Using primary data in research can improve the validity of research. So it is obvious that if you did the experiment, you can say it is valid, you have done this on that particular number of samples. If you say that I have done the experiment on 3 and I have collected the data from 7, yeah, then it won't make any valid argument, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, authenticity of the primary data is the genuineness of the research. Authenticity can be at stake if the researcher invests personal biases or uses misleading information in the research. Yeah. Primary research tools and data can become more authentic if the method chosen to analyze and interpret data are valid and reasonably suitable for the data type. Primary sources are more authentic because the facts have not been overdone. Primary source can be less authentic if the source hides information or alters facts due to some personal reasons. Now, on one side, uh, we discussed the validity, that primary data is good enough, but in some cases, that, like, you have been advised that you do your own research on the primary data, but if you did the research and you wanted to produce the results, then you yourself may be biased on certain results, and you can alter the results due to some reasons as well. you know
Yeah.
so somehow it has some advantage as well, that a single source can do something, but obviously there can be some reason. Then we talk about the reliability of the primary data, that it is the reliability is the certainty that the research is enough true to be trusted on. For example, if a research study concludes that a junk food consumption does not increase the risk of cancer and heart disease, yeah, this conclusion should have to be drawn from a sample whose size, sampling technique, and validity is not questionable. Okay, so reliability is again depending on the sample size. Reliability improves with using primary data. In similar research methods above, if the researcher uses experimental method and questionnaires, the results will be highly reliable. On other hand, if he relies on the data available in books and on the internet, he will collect the information that does not represent the real facts. Yeah. So the authenticity, the reliability, and validity is much more uh, considered the useful in primary data as compared to the secondary data. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Like, this has become a kind of theoretical definitions. Yeah. I couldn't reduce the number of lines and its characteristics, but just make it a kind of discussion about the primary data. Yeah, that is for your understanding. You can talk more about the primary data and its importance. Yeah. Now, sources of primary data. The sources of primary data are limited, and at times it becomes difficult to obtain data from primary sources because of either scarcity of a population or lack of cooperation sometimes. Regardless of any difficulty one can face in collecting primary data, it is the most authentic and reliable data source. Following are some sources of primary data. So, obviously, it is very difficult to do some research based on the primary data, because you will be doing your research. So how you can do that research? Through experiments. So experiments require an artificial or natural setting in which to perform a logical study to collect data. Experiments are more suitable for medicine, psychological studies, nutrition, and for other scientific studies. Yeah, so that is obvious that in order to get the sources of primary data, you will have to do your own experiment, and doing an experiment is not an easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then survey is the most common used method in social sciences, management, marketing, and psychology. To some extent, surveys can be conducted in different methods Questionnaire is next, is the most commonly used method in survey. Questionnaires are a list of questions, either an open-ended or close-ended, for which the respondent give answers. So, do you remember the difference between the open-ended and the close-ended questions?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, good. Questionnaires can be conducted via telephone, mail, live in public area or in an institute, through electronic mail or through fax and other methods. Interviews is also the source of primary data, is a face-to-face conversation with the respondent. It is slow, expensive, and they take people away from their regular jobs, but they allow in-depth questioning and follow-up questions. Interviewer can not only record the statements the interviewee speaks, but he can observe the body language or non-verbal communication such as face pulling, fidgeting, shrugging, hand gestures, sarcastic expressions that add further meaning to spoken words, and other reactions to questions too. Is that true?
Yeah.
Observations can be done while letting the observing person know that he is being observed, or without letting him know. So, interview and then observations is basically the another kind of source of data. Observation can be made in natural setting as well as in artificially created environment. Yeah. So, observation is a kind of, the data collection similar to the interviews. Yeah, you only need to observe and you get the data. Then advantages of primary research. Targeted issues are addressed. The organization asking for the research has the complete control on the process, and the research is streamlines as far as its objectives and scope is concerned. Now we are talking about the advantages of primary research. Yeah. Previously we were talking about the sources of primary data like interview, the experiments, surveys, questionnaires. So one of the advantage of the primary research is that targeted issues are addressed. So if you are doing the primary research, then you have a focus on any targeted issue. The organization asking for research has a complete control on a process, and the research is streamlinedness as far as its objective and scope is concerned. A researching company can be asked to concentrate their efforts to find data regarding the specific market rather than concentration on the mass market. Yeah. So, basically the research is most of the time being done on the social and scientific research, or the computing research is mostly, the based on the experiments. Yeah, maybe the real experiments, or you create an environment. Yeah, but if you are talking generally for the primary research, then you target directly on the particular issue. Yeah, then data interpretation is better in the primary research. The collected data can be examined and interpreted by the marketers depending on their needs, rather than relying on the interpretation made by the collectors of secondary data. So there is no any better advantage of secondary data. For example, the views of the customers taken from the secondary data, they might have not done the good research, but yours, if the data collected is by yourself through the marketing survey, then you will be producing the correct interpretation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Efficient spending for information. Primary data collections focus on issues specific to the researchers. A researcher improves the chances that the research fund will be spent efficiently. Yeah. So whatever you want to spend, then the amount spent on that particular primary research would be spent efficiently. You don't know that whether for the secondary, spent, you are not sure whether, they are relevant or not. Decency of data, usually secondary data is not so recent. It may not be specific to the place or situation marketer is targeting. Thus, primary data becomes a more accurate tool since we can use data which is useful for us. So that is decency. Yeah. Proprietary issues, information collected by using primary research is their own and is generally not shared with others. Thus, information can be kept hidden from competitors and potentially offer an information advantage to the company that undertook the primary research. So, if you have done any research using the primary data, then you are the owner. That is the advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Whatever the conclusion you have got, yeah, you can keep it, you can hide it, yeah, from the competitors. It has an advantage. However, if it was the secondary research, then obviously you did not have the proprietary, rights, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Another advantage of the primary research is that it addresses the specific research issues. Carrying out their own research allows the marketing organization to address issues specific to their own situation. Obviously, you would be focusing on your problem. Yeah. Probably the problem you are trying to address may not be fully covered into the secondary research. Yeah. And you couldn't find the whole problem, in their secondary research. So that's why you have a royalty of addressing the particular specific research issues. Yeah. Then you have a greater control on your research. Not only does primary research enable the marketer to focus on the specific issues, it also enables the marketer to have higher level of control over how the information is collected. So that's true that you have a full control on the research on the data. In this way, the marketer can decide on such issues as size of project, how many responses, location of research, time frame for completing the project, whatsoever. So in primary research, you have a greater control, your control, and then specific issues are, the addressed by yourself. You have a proprietary rights for the data, as well as, let me go to the previous slide. You issue the targeted, you address the targeted issues. The data interpretation is better. The efficient spending is done. Decency of data is, exists there. So these are the advantages if you have your primary research. And obviously, let us see some disadvantages of the primary research. It has a high cost, yeah, time consuming, inaccurate feedbacks, yeah, more number of resources are required. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Because the research, if you want to do the primarily your own research, it will cost you. It will take your time. Inaccurate feedbacks, maybe in this case the research involves taking feedbacks from the target audience. There are high chances that the feedback given is not correct. That is a disadvantage because you are the first person to doing the research, getting the responses, and they cannot always be correct. Feedbacks by their basic nature are usually biased or given just for the sake of it. For example, it's not necessary that you did the research and everybody was sincere. Probably they didn't have a lake. They didn't concentrate, or maybe the particular number of people were biased, or maybe they just did it formally. So these are the disadvantages of the primary research. However, we discuss, the advantages as well. Really depends that what do you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the secondary data. Yeah. The secondary data is the data that has been already collected by and readily available from other sources. A piece of cake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. When we use statistical method with primary data from another purpose, for our purpose, we refer to it as a secondary data. Yeah. We
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
when we use the statistical methods with primary data from another purpose for our purpose, we refer to it as secondary data. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So any statistical data we are referring to in our research, so then it becomes the secondary data for us. It means that one's purpose primary data is another purpose secondary data. Yeah. So that secondary data is the data that is being reused. Such data are cheaper, more quickly obtainable than the primary data. Obviously, you have a piece of cake, somebody did the research, then you are trying to use it. These secondary data may be obtained from many sources, including literature, industry surveys, compilations from computerized databases and information systems, and computerized or mathematical models of environmental processes. Yeah, very simple. That's not yours, and you are getting from somewhere else. Yeah. The importance of secondary data. That's a good. It's not the case that the secondary data doesn't have a value, but it is important. How the secondary data can be less valid, but it is important. Its importance is still there. Sometimes it is difficult to obtain primary data. That's true. If it's a new research, new topic, or if it is new for you, then probably it would be very difficult for you to do any experiment correctly. Maybe in these cases, getting information from secondary sources is easier and possible. Obviously, we are not asking you to only focus on the secondary data. Yeah, but you look at the experiments, see how they got the data, and then you can learn the whole process of doing the primary data. Yeah, that's why the secondary data is still important. Yeah, sometimes primary data does not exist. In such situation, one has to confine the research on the secondary data. Sometimes primary data is present, but the respondents are not willing to reveal it. In such cases, two secondary data can suffice. So there can be many reasons, yeah, that your research cannot proceed without relying on any secondary data. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there can be any case, yeah, that without looking at the previous research, you can't proceed further. Now, sources of secondary data. The secondary data is often readily available. After the expenses of electronic media and internet, the validity of secondary data has become much easier. So after the electronic media, you just click on it, you download it. You get the subscription from the IEEE journals, the different other journals, conference papers. You just buy it and read it and refer it. Then published printed sources. There are a variety of published printed sources. Their credibility depends on many factors. For example, on the writer, publishing company, and time and date when was published. New sources are preferred and old sources should be avoided as new technology and researches bring new facts into light. You remember last time I said, discussed that new sources of information are much more, reliable and should be considered, as compared to the older one. You remember?
Yeah.
Okay. The sources of secondary data can be the books as well. The books are available today on any topic, but topic that you want to research, the use of books start before even you have selected a topic. Obviously, the books are good, for study. After selection of a topics, books provide insights on how much work has already been done on the same topic, and you can prepare your literature review. Books are secondary sources, but most authentic one in the secondary source. So obviously, when it becomes a book, it means it becomes a theory, yeah, and most authentic as compared to the printed media, magazines, yeah, any research papers, journals, which are in the ongoing process, yeah. Journals or periodicals are becoming more important as far as data collection is concerned. The reason is that the journals provide up-to-date information which at times books cannot, and secondly, journals give information on the very specific topic on which you are researching rather than talking about more general topics. So books, give like a kind of a theoretical backgrounds generally, but journals and periodicals, they give an in-depth, and most recent research trends to be published in detail. Yeah. So sources of data, secondary data, you are looking at journals, books, published printed materials. Yeah. Then magazines are also the sources of data. The published electronic sources, e-journals are also, the sources. Yeah. So magazines, you are very well that what are the magazines? Yeah. But they are not. Paper and is more reliable, and in some cases the information can come from a newspaper in the case of some political studies. So why the magazine and the newspaper there is a difference? Because a newspaper, the auditor of the newspaper would rely on the authentic source, yeah, because newspaper would be sold out to the whole, country, for example, to the nation or, worldwide as a news, yeah. However, the magazine may have some biased, the information, and only certain, group of people, those who like the particular magazine, yeah, may, find it, useful and correct one, but as comparative to the newspaper, they are more reliable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Published electronic sources is the internet, for example, then e-journals, the journals, in the form of PDF, readable, online, may not need to be, in, the paperwork. Obviously, nowadays, everything is electronic, yeah. General websites are also the sources of secondary data. The blogs, web blogs, people write the blogs, and they write their diaries from the different peoples. Somehow they are reliable, and their diaries. Then unpublished personal records. Somebody did the research, but they haven't published anywhere. They can be the secondary source. Diaries or personal records. They can be letters, government records, public sector records. So these, all of them are the secondary sources. Really depends how do you want to use it, and obviously the authenticity of those secondary sources can be, you know, uh, can vary from source to source. Yeah. So maybe the diaries, the letters can be referred, yeah, from somewhere, but authenticity is really, matters that it can be authentic or not. So anyways, these are the those were the sources of secondary data. Now, let us see the advantages of the secondary data. Ease of access. It's obvious that it is easy to access whoever has done the research. Nowadays, you can get it electronically on the internet, on the electronic journal subscriptions. Low cost to acquire. Obviously, for example, any subscription to any particular journal or IEEE, journals, within an annual, particular cost of annual subscription, you get thousands of research papers, about the IEEE.
About the
IEE, that's the international, electronic the society, yeah.
Yeah, I know about it.
Yeah. So it is available at the low cost, isn't it?
Yeah.
Clarification of research question becomes advantageous. The use of secondary research may help the researcher to clarify the research question. Secondary research is often used prior to primary research to help clarify the research focus. So obviously, you can have a look that how people have done the research questions, how they have tried to to do the research, isn't it?
Yeah, done.
Yeah. Then another advantage of the secondary data is may answer the research question. Yeah. Probably if you are trying to answer the particular question, yeah, then you could get the answer from the secondary data by itself as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
May show difficulties in conducting primary research. You can know that what others, had the difficulties in conducting the primary research, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Disadvantages of the secondary data, the quality of research. Yeah. So you are very well that the originator of the primary research are largely self-governed and controlled by the marketer, but the secondary research used must be scrutinized closely since the origin of the information may be questionable, because you don't know who is producing this information. Probably if it is a government, a self-governed, if it was the self-governed research, yeah, then it could be the more authentic, but the quality of research of the secondary data is questionable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then not specific to researcher's need. So it cannot be the case that whatever the research you want to do, yeah, would be useful for you for your specific need, but maybe the topic you are doing is, let's say, 10% relevant to any other research, but rest of the 90% is not relevant to you. That's common thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Incomplete information, probably not probably, but most of the time you can't get the complete information from the secondary data, because the research you have tried to carry on, you will have your you would have set your own goals. You should have set your own boundary of the research, scope of the research, yeah. And whatever the research that you will get, it would be obviously incomplete. They would have done on according to their own needs, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not timely, yeah. When using secondary research, one must exercise caution when using dated information from the past. So it's not necessary that you get the up-to-date information from the secondary source. Probably you get older one, you get the out-of-date research reports, and you can be deceived, very, badly, that you relied on particular research finding, and let's say about a year ago, and you relied on that particular data, but maybe a recent research was published a month ago and it was not in your access, and that is the disadvantage of the particular secondary source you are referring to, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So we were talking about data collection methods. Now we talk about the data analysis. So during the data analysis, term scientific rigor is used. Yeah, the practice of scientific research, whether qualitative or quantitative or mixed one, demands that the researcher work is intellectually rigorous, accurate on all points, ethical, and dispassionately executed. Yeah. So that is
Yeah.
called the scientific rigor. You are trying to produce a genuine research. The stage of scientific method varies slightly according to the field. However, uh, the following list must be outlined. Yeah. Which one? There's a make an observation or observations, ask questions about the observation and gather information, form a hypothesis, test the hypothesis, analyze the data, reproduce the experiment until there is no discrepancies between the observation and the theory. So scientific rigor, yeah, must be carried out by looking at these points. Then and then you are basically done with this, this can be a scientific rigor. So that's a just term, that was included into the learning outcomes of this unit, that what is the scientific rigor. It is the genuine and, the research done with your, uh, you know, uh, voluntarily done correctly with your full interest. Is that clear?
Yeah. Yes.
Just, the word scientific rigor, the definition of it is, I explain how you can do the scientific rigor, observe it, ask questions, form hypothesis, test it, analyze it, and reproduce until you get everything, without any problem. That's called the scientific rigor. Probably you need to do it in a scientific rigor when you are doing your research. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then data analysis. There are two types of the data analysis. One is the inductive, and another is the deductive data analysis, and the last one is reporting. So before I go to the let me explain the inductive approach first. The inductive approach to research is a researcher begins by collecting the data that is relevant to his or her topic of interest. Once a substantial amount of data have been collected, the researcher will then take a breather from the data collection, stepping back to get a bird's eye view of their data. At this stage, the researcher looks for patterns in the data, working to develop a theory that could explain those patterns. Thus, when the researchers take an inductive approach, they start with a set of observations and then they move from those particular experiences to a more general set of propositions about their experiences. In other words, they move from data to a theory. That is what the inductive approach of analysis. So what is done? Get the data and produce into the theory. Is that clear?
Yes.
So while the deductive approach of data analysis is you look at the theory, start with a social theory that find the compelling and then test its implications with the data. Do you think that this is the case we can also go through?
Yes. So.
Like, if you get the data, come to the theory, and sometimes you look at the theory and see how the data was, collected and in a reverse process. So that is kind of an analysis of the data. So very simple, yeah. And then finally, the next topic is you need to report your research. So how you can report your research? You should have a title of your research. You should have abstract of your research, introduction. Then you need to explain about the method, how you did it, then participants involved, then apparatus or equipment that you used, then materials, words, problems, questionnaires, then design methods, procedure, results, evaluation. You remember last time I explained that evaluation is basically the assessment of the worth or merit of some object, yeah, that how you have assessed what is the worth of your final outcome. Then you discuss about your research, produce some references, appendices. That's it. So that's about the reporting. Do you have any question about the reporting?
No.
Okay, good. So looking at the learning outcome 3, reporting, analysis techniques and data collection, are involved. You need to start your research by data collection, analyze it and produce it. That's it. Yeah. So learning outcome 3 is complete now, and your unit, the particular unit of computing research methods is also complete now. Yeah. So far you have completed, let me see, databases, web-based development, software development methodologies, and computing research methods. Yeah. The 4 units are complete. We will move further to the next unit, and hopefully, by the passage of time, we will be able to